Hi, my name is Robin, and in this video series I will take you on my work holiday visa through Australia. On the moment that I'm filming this, I'm sitting on a beach in Australia in Hervey Bay, and in this video I will tell you all the things that I need to arrange when I just arrived in Australia. So as you could see in my first video where I started, so where I left from home to Australia, which is already 4 months ago, then you can see what the plan was, and obviously, like most things in life, it doesn't always turn out how you plan it to be, but of course it was still very amazing. So in this video I want to talk to you about the things I had to arrange when I first landed here. So if you are planning to do a work holiday visa to Australia, then I can give you my experience on what you have to do and what you have to look out for. So the first thing that you have to have when you land in Australia is of course a SIM card, because without a SIM card you will not have access to internet, or you will have access to internet in your accommodation. But if you're going to sleep in hostels like I do most of the time, then you will not always have a strong Wi-Fi signal. So I advise you to get a SIM card for sure. The second thing is a tax file number. This is a number that you need to have in order to work in Australia. The other thing you need to have is a RSA, and this only counts if you want to work in hospitality. So this means if you want to work in bars, cafes, nightclubs, basically anywhere where they serve alcohol, you need to have it. It's a responsible serving of alcohol certificate, and you can do this on the government website. I will tell you a little bit more about it in a second. So we have the RSA, the tax file number, a SIM card. You need a super fund number. So this is for the superannuation. This is when you save up money for retirement. So citizens of Australia, their employer automatically saves up money for them for retirement. And this is 10% if I'm right, or 9.5% of what they earn, and it gets set aside for when they retire. Of course, as a backpacker, when you leave the country again, you are not able to save it up until you retire to get it back. So as well about this, I would like to tell something about you. So the first thing is a SIM card. The SIM card, you have different providers. You have to look out for yourself which one you think is the best one. I have Telstra, and the reason for that is that when you leave the cities, most of the times when you leave to the outback or to the outer places of Australia, you will lose connection. And when I first arrived here and I was talking to somebody in a Telstra store, I didn't really believe them, because I know how people in sales are. Of course, they want to promote their product as the best product, and they get paid to do that, so nothing against this. But I wanted to find out for myself, is it true what they are saying? So I took two providers. I took Optus and Telstra. And as soon as I went out of the cities, I could see which provider was working and which not. And Telstra definitely was working most of the times when Optus wasn't. So I advise you, if you're going to travel around, especially when you're going to drive around with a truck around in the outback, go for Telstra. You also have Vodafone and probably other small providers which are cheaper, but yeah, figure it out for yourself in that way. The other thing is that you can also walk into stores and check out different deals. I have a prepaid plan because I didn't want to be fixed to a fixed contract, which means that you're going to be stuck for a year on a contract. So what I do now is I take monthly deals. For example, I have $30 deal now where I have 30 gigabytes of data, which is a lot. And I have this for the first 3 top-ups. After the first 3 top-ups, so after you did 3 months of prepaid mobile use, then it will only be 8 gigabytes. So what will happen when it runs out, then I will check out other providers, I will switch provider again, and in this way you will always get the best deal. So that's what I wanted to say about mobile use. The next thing is a tax file number. You can easily apply for this online on the website. I think the website of the Australian government. Just Google it. It's not easy to, not hard to find. I do need to warn you about something, and that is that there are companies out there that would like to help you to get a tax file number, but they will charge you for it. So it is a service that they offer you, which costs you, it was $70, I guess, and then you have some benefits, and the benefits that they tell you that you have is that you can talk on the phone with them. But actually, when you have the tax file number, you don't have to contact anyone. It's just basically a number which you need to give to your employer when you want to work. So what happened to me is, I looked on Google for the website, I started filling in my phone number, I started filling all the things I needed, and then after that they called me because I didn't do the payment. So you have a bunch of questions, I fill them in, and then they ask you to pay $60 or $70 online. I didn't have my bank card yet, so I waited to pay it, and the day after they called me and they said, hey, is this Robin? Yeah, I saw you were trying to apply for your tax file number. Can we help you, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, but you want me to pay for it. And yeah, now you need to pay, blah, blah. I said, but I can get it for free as well. And then they say, yeah, you can get it for free as well, but it's on a different website and you will not have our service. So basically, to make a long story short, they charge you money for something you actually don't need to pay for, in my eyes. It can be that the extra service is that you can talk on the phone with one of the persons there, but I think the majority of the people don't have it, and I didn't need it. So I found it a little bit sleazy that they called me and said, yeah, let us help you, and now fill in this and then do the payment. And then it felt to me like it was a company who just want to make sales on a product that actually is for free. So it can be that I'm wrong, but this is my experience. Then, of course, you're also going to need a bank card. You just hop in any bank in Australia. I personally took Commonwealth because people told me that this is a bank that is available in whole Australia. And since I was going to travel around, this was very helpful. There will probably also be other banks that are available over all Australia. But yeah, again, figure it out for yourself. I took Commonwealth. It's very easy. I probably like the bank system more than in Belgium, because in the shops here, you can just tap on the till or on the machine for paying with card, and you pay what you have to pay. So you don't need to put the card in, you don't need to enter the code. The flip side of this is, of course, when you lose your card, people can go to the shop and just tap with your card. I think it's to a maximum of $100, then you need to add a code, but still they can use different shops and buy small amounts of things. But also this is prevented a little bit because you have an app on your phone which is connected with a button, and the button you can just switch it between blocking card and unblocking card. So for example, I lost my card in a bus once. I contacted the company from the bus and they told me, no problems, we have your wallet, but I didn't have access to my card for a couple of weeks. So I decided to go to the app, switch the button, the card is blocked, and then I can switch it up whenever I want. Compared to some cards in Belgium, once I block the card, it's impossible to unblock them again, which means I need a new card, which means if I want it from Belgium, they're gonna have to send it all the way to Australia, which is very annoying. So, yeah, so far the bank card. The next thing is the super fund. You can choose your own super fund, or your employer will do that for you as soon as you find work. I took Hos Plus. If you want more details about that, again, figure it out yourself. I can give you the information I know. And as far as I know from Hos Plus is that it's basically a super fund. They will save up 10% of everything you earn, but it comes extra on your wage. So they don't take it out of what you earn, but it comes on top of what you earn. And this will be set aside. As soon as you leave Australia, there is a certain amount that you can get out. I believe it is 40%. And the other 60% goes to the government. Unless you become a citizen of Australia, then you will get the full amount, or maybe you will get taxed a little bit on that, but at least you won't be taxed so much. So as a backpacker, imagine if you work for 1 year, you earned, let's say, $3,000 a month, and then you saved up like, let's make it, imagine if you saved up in your super fund like $5,000, and you leave the country, so you want to take that back, then you're gonna pay 60% taxes on that. So you will lose a big amount of money. Imagine if you have $1,000, then you will lose $600. So far the super fund. Voilà, so these are the things that you have to do when you arrive in Australia. Open a bank card, get a tax file number, do your RSA. The RSA is something you do online, you pay for it, it's a course, it are multiple choice questions. So basically you get a big book, but it's an ebook. You can scroll through it, answer the questions, and then they're gonna ask you questions about alcohol. You need to fill it in, but it can take a lot of time, especially for me. My English was not that good, so sometimes I couldn't understand the sentences and I had to guess. So you do have the option to guess the answers. For examul, they ask you a question, you get 3 options to answer. You guess option 1, it's wrong. You guess option B, it's wrong again. Then you need to wait for 2 minutes before you have a third time to guess. And if you guess too much the wrong answer, then your screen will be locked for a minute or two, or permanently. It can be that it's permanently locked, and then you have to wait until some of the persons calls you. It's an easy course. It will show you itself how you have to complete it. Anybody can complete it. What I recommend you to do with it is do it with somebody. Do it with more people. Do it with 2 or with 3, because, and I know it's a little bit cheating, but when you do it with 2 or with 3, you can't just guess the answers. So what I did, I was with my friend, I was like, okay, you guess A or D, and I guess B and C. And then worst case scenario is that one of us has to wait for 2 minutes, but while one is waiting, you can both already work on the next question. So, well, this makes your life easier. So, I hope this video is some help to you. It's not as entertaining as my other videos, because for the rest of my videos, I basically just want to show you on my journey on my work holiday visa, the places I go to, what I've experienced, the places I visited. I want to show you beautiful videos and images, all the things I did. And yeah, this video was basically just very informational, just for if you have questions to go to Australia. It's all new and all these things, you don't know what's going to happen. That's at least how I experienced it. So I hope I helped you a little bit out with this. And if you have more questions, feel free to comment. I will do my best to answer. Thank you, and I see you in the next video. Bye.